again. This is Leb again. This time we're about to do something on Corona. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel. You would want to open the document in an A4 format. Okay. And then you select the adjustment layer, the solid color adjustment layer. So the color to select, the hexacode has been provided on the screen. It is slightly yellow. So the next thing to do is to import the yellow image. I've named it yellow, and then the image will be provided for you in the description. So you make sure you adjust its position on the document. Okay, so that's the opacity has been reduced to 35. The next thing is to import the abstract modern yellow image. That one too would also be provided in the description. You also shift it, you place it to the bottom right corner of the document or the layer, and then adjust its size. The opacity should be around let's say 50. 50 would do. So you create a layer mask and then brush off the sides to reveal the important part of it. And then adjust its position. So the next thing is to import the third image. You also adjust its position, reduce the opacity to about 72, and then the fill would also be reduced to 56. So we want to increase the size of the previous image. That would be very important, and it will look nice. Okay, so you just click the layer mask, brush off its size, and then you create a new layer, and then you select the brush tool, and then you click once. Make sure to select a very soft brush. You click once, make sure the color is white, and a very soft brush so that it will look like a white reflection at the top of the document, and then you increase the size just as I am doing in this tutorial. Okay, the next thing is to place the coronavirus image, a PNG image. It would also be provided in the description. Place it over there, and then you reduce the opacity to about 60%. And then the color balance, you make sure to add a color balance adjustment layer. You create a clipping mask so that it would affect only the coronavirus image. You create a copy of it, and then shift it a little bit to the middle. That is the right side of the middle. And you'd also have to increase the opacity a little. And then I adjust its position. Okay, so you would want to create a rectangle. A rectangle, and then change its color to something bluish. So that's the hexacode that has been provided for you. And make sure to adjust its position to the middle of the document. Resize it a little so that it can look smaller. And then you can transform it by clicking Ctrl T and then right clicking, selecting skew for it to look slanted. So double click on any side of the layer for the layer style to appear, and then you first include a stroke. So the size of the stroke has been, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Okay, and then the next thing to do is to add a color overlay, and that's the header code for the color overlay, slightly yellow. And then the last thing you do is to add a drop shadow to the rectangle. So the angle of the angles should be 45 degrees, and then you increase the distance, the spread, and then the size too. So make sure to subscribe and like this video. Okay, so you would have to create a copy of that same rectangle. You clear the layer style, and then you shift it to a little bit to the right, and make sure to decrease its size. So the next thing is to type protect yourself from a, so the font style to use is Helvetica insert, and then the color, that's the header code that has been provided. So you make sure to type it in caps. They should be in block letters. Decrease the size a little. Yeah, that's the leading, but that is not really necessary for this document. But the necessary one is the tracking. That is the distance between the characters close to each other, so it should be a little bit closer. So that's what I have done. Shift it a little bit downwards, and then you create a copy by holding Alt and then left clicking and then dragging it down. So the next text is infection. The font style is Acrobat, and then the boldness is black. Select that. You increase the size a little and then adjust its position to the middle. So you would want to type coronavirus, and then you make sure to separate the virus from the corona. That's the tracking between the corona and then the virus. Yeah, that's what you have to do. So you set the opacity. That's the hexa code DB0202. Adjust its position on the document. So the next thing is to replace the O's with a coronavirus image. That one would also be provided in the description. I've named it coronavirus. Place it in the document and then replace the O with this coronavirus image. Adjust its size, and then you would want to change its color. So that would be including a hue saturation adjustment layer. So it increase the saturation a little, and then you decrease the brightness, and then you create a copy and send it to the other side of the corona. The next thing is to type mode of transmission. That's the mode of transmission of the coronavirus, from a sick person to a healthy person. So that's, yeah, you do it, you type it and then you change the color to something red. try to make it inclined, not red. I mean bluish, yeah, blue, something blue. So try to adjust it um, so that it will look inclined, just like, or it will look slanted, just like the rectangle. Remember to like and subscribe to this channel. So you'd want to group the rectangle plus the mode of transmission text. Adjust its size a little, let it be smaller, and then decrease its skew. The skew can be decreased by transforming Ctrl T and then right clicking and then selecting skew. So you want to include some circles, so you select the ellipse tool, change the color of the circle to F. Yeah, that's the hexacode that has been provided. So if you want to get a perfect circle, when you are drawing it, you hold shift and then you drag it. That's how you get a perfect circle. So adjust its size and place it in the blue rectangle, slanted rectangle. We create a copy to the right. You import the healthy man image. That is also part of the images in the description link. So for the right circle, you import the sick person, the sick image, that's the sick cartoon image, to the right circle. You create a clipping mask of it. You adjust its size and create a clipping mask of it. Yeah, create a clipping mask and try to make it a little bit larger. Do the same to the healthy man, the healthy cartoon man. So the next thing is to import the red coronavirus image. As this depicts the man coughing out samples of this virus, so they are the red corona images. So the red viruses. So you make 3 copies of this virus image. 3 copies. It's as though the man is coughing out the coronavirus. And then, so for the mode of transmission, if these viruses enter the eye, the nose, or the mouth, you would contract COVID-19. So that's what I'm trying to do by importing the the image of the eye, the nose, and then the mouth. You create some ellipse, some circles, and then you adjust the position of the eye, the nose, and the mouth on these circles. So you are going to create something like an annotated diagram, like I'm connecting the eyes to the healthy man to designate his eyes, his nose, and then his mouth. So you can do that by clicking the rectangle tool or the line tool. The line tool can also be used. So, but I prefer the rectangle tool. So you make the first one, you make an inclined rectangle, but it should be very small. And then the second one should be a horizontal one. You connect it to the inclined rectangle. It will look connected. So next, you create a copy of the horizontal one. You shift it down to connect the nose to the healthy man. You do the same too for the mouth. So the yellow coronavirus. So it's as though the when the virus is stuck in the air, it can turn yellow. So that's what I'm trying to depict. So when they get into the eye, you can get COVID-19. When they get into the nose, you can contract COVID-19, or the mouth, the same thing, COVID-19. So make sure to protect yourself. Wear protective gears like nose masks to protect yourself. So the yellow coronavirus would also be provided in the description. So the next thing is to type how the virus can be transmitted. You do it in text. I've typed it already, so I have to copy it. It will also, if you want to copy mine, I'll provide it in the description link. You can click on it and then you download it for free. So the virus can be transmitted from an infected person to a healthy person when droplets from coughs and sneezes enter the eye, the nose, and the mouth. So make sure to adjust its leading and then the tracking. So the leading is the distance between the text on the top and then the text at the bottom. So make sure to adjust the leading. That is very important. So I'm trying to highlight, or should I say, I'm trying to make the capitals of the words that are important. So virus, and then infected, and then person, healthy person, droplet, cough, sneezes, eye, nose, and then mouth. So we are done with that, and I would do the next thing. So you adjust its size. So the next thing to do is to type preventive measures. So these are the measures which, if you follow, you prevent the contraction of COVID-19 or the coronavirus. So you type preventive measures. It should be, the font style should be Acrobat, and then the boldness should be, yeah, bold, or no, extra bold. You adjust it to the middle, and then you increase the tracking. Then the color should be blue. So you create, the next thing is to create rounded rectangles so that you can you can place the images, the cartoon images of the preventive measures. So you create about eight copies of it. You adjust its position. So you can create a copy by holding Alt and then dragging whilst holding the left click. That is how you can create a copy of any file. I mean, any file in Photoshop, or any image in Photoshop. So I'm trying to shift these, protect yourself from a, yeah, I'm trying to shift it to the top so that I'll get some space for the preventive measures, because they are about 8, and then the text would also be included. So you would want to shift the preventive measures to the top. So the first thing to do is to import the hand washing cartoon image. So you make sure you create a clipping mask of the image and you adjust its size. So you import the second image, that's them disinfecting your phones. And then the third image is to import the hand sanitizer picture. The fourth, do not touch your face, that's a cartoon representation. So that's the door handle. Try to disinfect your door handles. That is very important, just as you would want to disinfect your phones too. So make sure to stay indoors. That's an image depicting that. And then coughs, try to cover your coughs and sneezes. And then the last image is to keep a social distance between you and someone else or a sick person. So make sure to adjust its size to look okay or to look nice. So now the images would be imported. I mean, the text will be imported. So thorough hand washing is important. You adjust the position near to the image. So cell phones should be constantly cleaned and disinfected. Should also be placed on the document. You create a copy of it and then you paste the hand using hand sanitizers with at least 60% alcohol. Avoid touching the face, eyes, nose, and mouth. So you avoid close contact with sick people, or do not shake hands. For now, you must not shake hands or hug. And then cover coughs with sneezes and sneezes with tissue. You stay home to avoid exposure to the virus, and then frequently touched objects should be disinfected. So you can add some drop shadows to the rounded rectangles. Add drop shadows to all of them.